Hey everyone, it's me, Rai, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Lisa Elley Tube Squeezer. I did a quick unboxing video, but now I'm going to be doing a more thorough review of this tube wringer. I like that it opens really wide. I like that the mechanics of it seem very sturdy, even though it is a lot lighter than other tube wringers or tube squeezers I have. It's cool that they come in many different colors. I prefer the red, which I'll talk about in a little bit. I like that they stand up vertical. These are all kind of very basic first impressions. I like that it's flat enough to put in a drawer as well. It's even slim enough to put in my most kind of slender drawer I have in my studio, which is great. I'm glad that it has a little notch like most tube wringers, or a way where you could hang it on the wall if you'd like, so it's really easy to see or grab. But my favorite part is this tube squeezer is the hottest, most sexy one there is on the market. but is that a good enough reason to buy it? Well, I'm going to do a little deeper dive on the mechanics and how it works. We know it looks beautiful compared to these kind of old wringers. The one on the right is the classic Gill mechanical heavy duty tube wringer. This one might be decades old. I borrowed it from work where I teach, where we go through a lot of tube paint. It's so dirty, but it still works incredibly well. I also like the big squeeze. It's great. It's the most easy one to kind of hold, I would say, and turn at the same time, the little mechanism. It just feels great in the hand, more than the other two, more than this Gilman one, and more than the Gill Mechanic one, and then more than the Lisa Elley one. But this classic tube wringer, really easy to load. This big squeeze one, also easy to load, but not as easy as the classic Gill Mechanical one. The Gill Mechanical is just really easy to load. And the Lisa Elley one feels like the classic one when you're loading it. It's really easy to kind of open it really wide. The big squeeze doesn't open really wide. If you had tubes that you kind of really have to aim it more to put the tube in, where this one you could open it super wide, and like the Gill Mechanical one, it's really easy to take the tube out and aim it to put in. I just use paper to show how you can easily load them. But let's go ahead and wring some tubes. So the Gill Mechanical one is a classic. If you don't have one of these are my favorite. I've tested them with a lot of different artists and art instructors I work with, and everyone seemed to really, most people just seem to like this classic one. It's easy to load because it opens really wide. It's really easy to get leverage, and you could see, even though this is several decades old, it really squeezes out all that paint. You could see the ripples are still very rigid, even though it's really dirty and there's caked on paint inside the little mechanism. It still wrings everything out really well. Big squeeze I've had for a few years now. This is the one I use mostly in my studio, just because it feels nicer in the hand. So even though the other tube wringer, the Gill Mechanical one does a better job wringing it. This one does the job. It doesn't, you'll see when you see the ripples are a little bit flatter. It doesn't wring it to death, but it wrings it enough where there's no paint left. So it still does the job just as well, just not as like intense, if that makes sense. But so it just feels a little better. So I use this one mostly in my studio. Now let's take a look at the Lisa Elley one. And I like that you could load it one-handed. You could see I use my thumb just to easily load it. So I could open it pretty wide, wider than I could the big squeeze, which makes it easier and faster to use, just like the Gill Mechanical one. And I feel like it feels just like the Gill Mechanical one, except the fins, I guess I'll call them the fins. They make it really easy to kind of grasp and hold down, and it feels better than the Gill Mechanical. Doesn't feel as nice as like the big squeeze, just feels very natural to hold. The Lisa Elley one It just squeezes just as good as the others. It compares to the Gill mechanical one, but yeah, it feels better than the Gill mechanical one, so I'm really liking it. Let's try a small tube. Super easy to load. I am a pretty big person, and I think pretty strong because I am big, so I never have trouble wringing tubes of paint. So I do want to try taking it to where I work and letting students use it, and let my staff use it and my coworkers, to see if they like it and if they find that it's easier to squeeze out the paint. It's super satisfying using it, I could say, just like any other tube wringer. I'm feeling like I like it equally as much as the Gill mechanical as far as squeezing out the paint. Here I'm using a tricky tube where it kind of got bent on the end, and sometimes it's hard to wring it all the way to the finish. You can see it skipped once or twice, but it still works just as good as the Gill mechanical ones, pushing all that paint to the end. So that's what I really like in these tube squeezers. I decided to use a liquid impasto tube. These ones are harder for me to, you can see I'm trying to make sure it's right at the end so I don't lose any of this medium. It's like a gel medium kind of. These ones are harder to wring, so I wanted to make sure I had one to try, and you could see it was really easy for me to squeeze it all to the end, and it worked fantastic. I got a little oil in my tube squeezer, so I'm gonna clean it off a little with some paper towel. The tube wringers work really well still when they're dirty, but one day I would love a tube wringer to be able to have a mechanism where you could pop out the little gears to like clean it really well, or the little flattener. So here's the lineup of ones I was reviewing today. I know there's a lot of other tube squeezers, wringers out there, but the Lisa Elley, for the price, it's the same price when I bought it at this time. It's about $34.95, so it's 5 cents cheaper than what you could get the Gill mechanical one at. But it looks so much better. I like the way the Lisa Elley one looks. Big squeeze at the time of this video costs about $5 more than the other two. So the Lisa Elley one and the Gill mechanical were about $35. They go on sale every now and then. I saw Lisa Elley has like a $10 off sale sometimes, so you get them for $25. So in the end, it's the cheaper one to buy, and it looks the most futuristic, the most modern or contemporary, most space age. Almost looks like the droid head from like a Star Wars film. But one thing is the paint. As I love it, I know the paint feels like it's going to come off, and I'm doing a little scratch test, and the paint is easily scratchable because it's so kind of matte and satiny feeling. Is that a bad thing? I don't know. Like this one, the big squeeze, you cannot scrape that paint very easily at all. I wasn't able to when I hit it with a bunch of different sharp points. But the Lisa Elley, the scratches I don't mind because it's kind of the aesthetic of the logo she has on there anyway. So it's going to get scuffed up and it'll just look like more like a Star Wars kind of prop probably. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this unboxing video. Let me know if you have any questions, and don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like.